time for the Shop Report with
Barbershop Jay.
What up, sports fans? Welcome to the Shop Report. I'm Barbershop Jay. I'll be your host for the day, alongside D. Gully. Here's what's happening. You know, it's been a lot of chatter going on back and forth, up and down, all the way around about the Cleveland Cavaliers and the reasons for which, when they lose, and the excuses being made as to why they done lost. You know what I'm saying? All these things they got to say about this, about that. You know, I wish folks would just give it a rest, man, because it's interesting how the narrative changes. Let me say it that way. When they lose as opposed to when they win. I wish y'all would make up my mind. It either is or isn't. Okay? Like with truth. A lot of folks out here professing to be truthful or telling the truth. But listen, your actions are belying your words. It's either true or not true. When the Cavs lose, I'm looking on my Facebook stream here or whatever, timeline. And all the chatter is about J.R. Smith. Okay, I get it. He's not making any offensive contributions. Unacceptable. But how is that to blame or solely to blame for the Cavs giving up 133 points? Explain that to me. For the first time ever, since we all caught up on who did what first and how many times first and who on what list and, you know, select company and all of that kind of stuff. See, we selective and objective at the same time, and that don't work. Okay? Because that method right there, you're going to end up crashing. I promise you, you're going to end up crashing. Look here. King Nebuchadnezzar, and I'm not real biblical, but I'm going to use this as an example. And the three boys. The moral of the story was, if you're going to stand, stand. If you're going to sit, sit. But do not waver. And that's my message to Cavs fans, to Cleveland fans in general, and why I say make up my mind. So, does JR need to make an offensive contribution? All this noise you all say he made about not starting and D-Wade deferred and went to the bench as D-Wade did and has done before. Yeah, so JR could have his spot. Yeah, I get it. Kudos to D-Wade. So now J.R. Smith is not doing what everybody think he should be doing, and rightfully so. But he ain't the only one that ain't doing, is my point. Because offensively, even when he ain't doing, the Cavs should still have enough that they should be putting up triple digits, especially in this new BA. Okay? So I ask again, who is to blame for that other end? It makes no sense whatsoever to hear folks discuss or talk about what happened on the offensive end. He ain't giving no points. He ain't scoring this. He ain't scoring that. Listen here. Y'all know where I'm going, right? Because basically what's already understood need not be explained or said or asked or discussed. I'm going back to that 23 that they got down there. Y'all's king. Listen, dude is top shelf. You the best player on the planet. Self-proclaimed, fan-proclaimed. So when it don't go right, you can't get bottom shelf critique or bottom shelf excuses. Who blamed Medvedenko or Brian Shaw when Kobe's Lakers lost, or Phil Jackson? Nobody. Did y'all blame Pat Riley or Michael Cooper when Magic's Lakers lost? Or how about Kenny Smith when Hakeem's Rockets lost? Or better yet, who blamed Steve Kerr or Craig Hodges or B.J. Armstrong when Jordan's Bulls lost in them first rounds that y'all love comparing when it comes to LeBron. Oh, Jordan had so many first round losses, man. Get out of here. Okay, well, who blamed somebody else other than the Stars when those Stars teams lost? See what I'm saying? Not only is LeBron James, yes, it falls at his feet. Not only is he the best player in the league, according to many, other than myself, but at the same time, he is absolved of any wrongdoing when it don't go right. Explain that to me. When the Cavs don't do right, they blame. The first thing I hear out of people's mouths, well, Tyronn Lue can't coach. That might be true. He might not be the coach that Steve Kerr is, or Mark Jackson is, or Eric Spoelstra is even. But I just find it interesting. And then here's the killer part. When the folks say that, they say it with conviction. Like they're really convinced that it was all Ty Lue. But my thing is, if you want to say it's Ty Lue's fault or J.R. Smith's fault, that's fine. But when the Cavs do well, when they blowing somebody out by 35 or whatever the case may be, I want y'all to mention them same folks that y'all saying who's the reason why they didn't win. Give them the same credit when the Cavs do win. That's my point. Because I don't hear y'all mentioning that. I don't hear y'all saying, the Cavs beat the Raptors by 35. Tyronn Lue did a great job coaching. J.R. Smith balled out, baby. Oh, man, did you see D-Wade with the dunk? I don't hear none of that. It's all Bron did this and Bron did that and Bron didn't and Bron did that and Bron. And then, listen, miss me with the sideline tirades and the over-dramatization. You got to be kidding me, man. Dude is a fraud and a farce. Listen, the Cavs have been the worst. Not the worst. Let me take that back. One of the worst teams defensively, even during their past 3 finals runs. Go look it up. I'm not going to keep doing y'all's homework for y'all. Not going to happen. One of the worst teams defensively. And let's make no mistake about it. Going back to this narrative and how I just keep changing. Earlier in the season, we all know what the story was, the drama was. Kyrie leaving. Should he have told LeBron? All that stuff that's irrelevant to winning and losing. And what's in that chest cavity. And championships. And what it take to get them championships. And not been given them championships. Oh, I digress. Celtics jump out to, I don't know how many games they won at the beginning of the season, 20, 30, whatever it was. Oh, my God. Or they'd be like, oh, but the season is still early when the Cavs were struggling. When the Cavs was losing 10 in a row and the Celtics was winning 10 in a row, it was, oh, the Cavs, they'll get it together. It's chemistry. Listen here. I don't discredit chemistry either, but how much weight are we giving it? How much weight are we giving it? Because guess what? Basketball is basketball. Geometry in motion, regardless of the level, from the park all the way to the parquet and all points in between. The philosophical approach is the same, regardless of the level. So if chemistry weighs so much, I'm not saying it's irrelevant or it don't matter, but if it weighs so much, then explain to me how a guy can go up to Woodhill. Yep, that's the park I played at. Hoo-hoo. How a guy can go up to Woodhill, have winners, watch the game going on that's going on at the time. When that game is done, pick 4 from the losing team. Now you got your 5, and you go out and beat the team that's been playing all day, that's been winning all day long. Explain that. Where's the chemistry at in that? Listen, it's about, do you know how to play the game? That's the question. For the Cavs to allow in back-to-back, since we're making such a big deal about back-to-backs, make a big deal about blowout losses by 25 points or more in back-to-back games. How about that? Explain that to me. You telling me JR's non-offensive contributions are to blame for 133 points allowed? No. I said this last year in the finals. I said it in 2016 in the finals, and I said it in 2015 in the finals. Let me explain something to y'all. Style of play. That's the caveat. Because guess what? Even in this today BA or this new BA brand of basketball, or what I like to say, a.k.a. brandsketball, the round robin, that tournament, it's a telltale for if what you did and how you was doing it in the regular season really shakes out. And people say, oh, but the Cavs are still in, so that don't make, no, that's bull crap. Yeah, it does. It does. It matters. See, because when you get to that round robin, there was called the nuts and bolts, or the main ingredients: rebounding, defense. Are you reading your keys? Are you making the right reads on offensive possessions in the half court and sets? You know what I'm saying? Are you getting the runouts? You know what I mean? Are you getting beat back on runouts from the other team? See, all of those things. Now, you can have all the sexy threes, all that stuff, man, but those are not the things that you hang your hat on when it comes to the playoffs and advancing. Why do you think last year's playoffs, from start to finish, the way they were played was putrid? I'm talking about put a clothespin over your nose. Boring. But guess what? Somebody got to win. Somebody got to lose. I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. And I'm going to keep on saying it. You take any one game from either the 94 or 95 battle playoff matchup between the Indiana Pacers and the New York Knicks, Reggie Miller, Mark Jackson, Patrick Ewing, John Starks, yeah. And that one game, pick any one game from either 94 or 95, and I guarantee you from start to finish, it was better played than any 10 or 20 game, including the postseason, in this new BA in the last 5 years. Don't talk to me about what a guy's averaging, or how well he looks, or how stupendous the dunk was when it comes to this new BA. When I sit here and see, how is it that in any contest, and then you're a professional, you missing free throws at a high clip, or both teams go back and forth 5 or 6 minute stretches without scoring. Not because the defense was good or better or had something to do with. It's because of the bad shot selection. Threes beat twos. Guess what? Not if I take 22s and you only get, and I hold you to 5 threes. How about that? See, too many of y'all got this Sashi Brown complex, man. Fans, that is. Too analytical. Got it? And we all know what comes before lytics and anal. Ain't Al. Got me? So when we talk about, or want to talk about JR being the reason why, is that when I go to Facebook and I see the first thing in my timeline after the Cavs lost is JR ain't doing XXXX ... That's some bull. I want y'all to say the Cavs didn't X, Y ... Because let's say JR would have scored 20. Would y'all have been satisfied with him adding 20? Nah. Y'all be like, he should have hit for 45. Why? That's LeBron's job, ain't it? Again, man, I keep telling y'all, man, you can't be top shelf when it comes to wins and winnings and so on, but then you know what I'm saying, you bottom shelf on the excuse tip, you know what I mean, when it comes to them losses. If you top shelf, you're going to get top shelf adulation and top shelf critique. That's how it go. You under dig? That's how it go. Listen here, man. If the Cavs and any other team like the Cavs, pay attention to the style of play. Stop watching this for the circus, like that 0-16 celebration like parade type perspective. Stop watching it from that perspective. Don't get caught up in the hype. I done suggested 2 things for y'all to do. And ain't nobody done them yet. But everybody want to come at me about this and about that and saying I am and I ain't. Listen here, bring it on. Study long, study wrong, but bring it on. I told you all. Y'all want to know what's really going on in this BA, this book association? Go read Tim Donaghy's book, Personal File. Yep, that's a plug. And no matter what NBA game you're watching, put the mute button on. See what I'm saying? Because if you're listening to the announcers or the announcements of, it's too many unnecessary stats that are associated with the drama of that are flooding what you're seeing. It's convoluting. It's crashing into what you're seeing. The eye test is the best test, but I can't go off the eye test if I can't block out all the noise and the other mess. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand, man. Watch it from that perspective, and then go to a debate. Because if you put it in its proper perspective, what he averaging and what they averaging is irrelevant if you ain't stopping the other guy from getting his averages, i.e. Villanova Wildcats. When I say basketball, it's basketball and how it's played philosophically. In actuality, don't matter what level it is. How they did Buddy Hield. Go back and look at Oklahoma's Buddy Hield when Buddy Hield was at Oklahoma and how he was blowing through everybody in the season. Blowing through. I don't know what his numbers were, his averages were, or whatever the case may be, but he was up there. That's all you heard. Turn ESPN on. Buddy Hield, Buddy Hield at Sports in the FS1. Buddy Hield, man, he was balling. Okay. So you would figure a guy like that, if he is true, or if he is what they say he is, then his team should be in when it's all said and done. He may not be able to win it all, but his team should be in it at the end, if he is what they say he is. See what I'm saying? If his averages are true and not necessarily an anomaly. If they true. But what happened when he ran into Villanova? Villanova didn't do nothing special. But they did what used to be a standard. Extended their ball pressure. And in doing so, excuse me, it exposed Buddy Hield for who he really is and what you see him to be. I don't even know what team he's on right now in the NBA. Sacramento? But my point is the chatter surrounding him is nowhere to the level that it was prior to him running into Villanova. Excuse me again. And why is that? Because apparently he ain't what y'all said he was prior to. Because, and this is the argument I make about Jordan, not about a comparison thing. I'm saying with my own eyes, when the pressure was at its greatest, he was even better. I don't care how many points he scored. I'm talking about his performance. I ain't talking about the flu game either. I'm saying if you're true, with Magic, when the pressure was at its greatest, he was at his best. Only one time did I see did I see LeBron James have the kind of performance that would substantiate the moniker or him being called great. Not GOAT, unless you're talking about that one in my grandmama's barn years ago, but great. And that was that 25-point performance he had against them Pistons in 2007, I believe it was. I'm not sure the year because I don't have it in front of me, but you all know because y'all know more than me. Where he went to another level. Matter of fact, that performance in and of itself or by itself was so astonishing. I forgot who was on the other side, who was on the other team. I forgot he was playing the Pistons. See what I'm saying? But you can't have them type of performances if you are a GOAT cannot be few and far between. You can't have in the finals, in no finals, especially when when you finally got the help that used to, of course, be the narrative. That's what I mean about the narrative changing, because that used to be for a long time. Oh, he ain't got no help. He ain't had no help. When you finally get some help, then your performance should increase. When Jordan got Pippen, okay, he got his help. Jordan went beyond what he was normally doing. Ain't no time ever. And I'm not comparing them. I'm comparing what you got to do if you are who you. Ooh, that didn't sound right. Man, maybe tomorrow, but not tonight. I don't know. But you get with the drift. You cannot be 24% in the fourth quarter, 74% for your career from the free throw line. When you are a player, and don't compare the free throws and percentages from Shaq to LeBron, because Shaq was not only cloudy, but he made them in moments that they mattered, made more than he didn't. But he was a player who had to be given the ball. LeBron got the ball in his hand 9.5 times out of 7. So you got the ball more than any other player on your team. You should be better at the free throw line. And then you can't come out in your 15th year talking about something, what I want to be. I want to be better at I want to be at least 80% from the free throw line. What? That's like saying, I'm about to make a cake, but I think I'm going to put eggs in it this time. Don't you understand? If you read the recipe, every cake, regardless of which kind you make, you got to have eggs. You can't put the eggs in last. Listen here, man. I'm telling y'all right now. Appearances and perception and how it's perceived when it comes to these Cavs teams are false and misleading. Do you understand? I think for it to be made mention of a guy's triple-double averages and made no mention of this team he on when he averaging them triple-doubles is being outscored on points in the paint by 20 or more, them two don't go together, man. They're incongruent. Look it up. It's a word. So, you want to blame JR for not putting up the points or not being what it is he wanted to be when D-Wade deferred and gave him his spot? That's fine. But my thing is, that cannot be your only gripe. Don't stop allowing LeBron fans to separate himself from the team, or it'd be okay for him to say, that's them over there, when it don't go right. But when it do go, oh, you see the king. No. Put them all on time. I put them all on punishment. You underdig? Because they are all responsible for what happened on that other end of the flow, which folks like you and them and all don't give enough credit to. That's all I'm saying. Stop using the offensive end of the floor, what a guy do offensively. And even there, again, that ain't all of what it's cracked up to be. But stop using the offensive end like that's one piece of pie. Stop using it to say that this one piece is a whole pie. It's not. It's a reason why they call it on the defensive end. And guess what? When your offense ain't where it's supposed to be or where you want it to be, you can always play D. You understand? When your offense ain't where you want it to be, ain't no excuse for not playing D. You feel me? Get it together, Cavs. Otherwise, it's going to be another L in them finals. And on that note, it's been fun, but I got to run. Appreciate y'all for checking out Barbershop Jay and the Shop Report so low. I got to go. Check us out on Facebook, iTunes, Twitter, and YouTube. And if that don't work, Google it. Email theshopreport365@gmail.com. And remember, the next time y'all want to know what's really going on, man, come to the shop. Walk-ins are always welcome. Holla.